In 1914, nobody knew what the fuck Sarajevo was. Over here, they were building history with 10,000 tons of steel. Over there, it took about 1 bullet's worth. So Canadians went over to Europe to die, and Europeans came here to build Canada. An old railway bunkhouse is 30 feet by 20 feet. That's like, well, it's like the size of this stage. Imagine 28 guys living on this stage, 2 men to a bed. Well, fuck, not even a bed, it's just a shelf with some hay. On his first night, they made Duchamp sleep on the floor, and all the horse shit and the throat clearings. When he'd visit us in Montreal, we used to put him on the cot, and he'd say, "Georgie, I slept better that night on the bunkhouse floor." Sarah said if he was feeling nostalgic, he could sleep in the tool shed. Only woman I ever met who could put him in his place. In mosquito season, nobody slept. Every night, the chore boy would light up a big fire, so half the night you're coughing up your lungs, and the other half of the night you got a mosquito on your nose. It made guys crazy. They used to pace the floor all night and then swing a pick for 12 hours the next day. But my project was totally zen about the infestation. He said, "Unuk, you can't hate the mosquitoes if you understand them. They're just like people. All the bloodsuckers are female." Sarah says, "Yeah, because the males of both species don't know how to feed themselves." So the guys would hang potato sacks and old shirts, but the only thing that could keep the buggers out was a piece of cheesecloth, nailed tight to the frame. But it costs like 70 cents a piece, right? So only the engineers can afford it. The bunkhouse boys are getting eaten alive. Anyway, one of the Finns, let's say his name is Raikkonen, he's the only guy who doesn't smoke, right? So he saves up and he buys a piece of cheesecloth. And all the other navvies are drooling, man. They're touching it like it's silk from a wormhole in the throne of God, spun by the Virgin Mary or something. They're fighting with each other every night to share this guy's bunk. But Raikkonen gets sick, right? And he figures it's because he needs the mosquitoes, you know, to leach the impurities from his blood. So that night, he just folds up a cheesecloth. He doesn't say nothing. He just starts walking towards the fire. And everybody, to a man, is trying to stop this guy. He's got a Scotsman on his left leg, an Italian on his right, a French Canadian hanging off his neck, you know, like they always do. But nobody can stop this guy. He's like 7 feet tall. But my Duchenne is thinking. It's where I get my brains from. He knows this guy hates smoke, so he starts fanning up a big plume from the fire. And Raikkonen starts wheezing. He throws everybody off. He drops the cheesecloth. And it's just lying there. An artifact of salvation like the fucking Shroud of Turin. And bang, everyone's on this thing like hypoglycemics to a Tim Hortons donut. And the Scottish guy, his name's Coulter. He's got the thing in the middle, you know? Somebody's punching his kidneys, and somebody's yanking on his ear. And all of them, they're all over the fucking fire. Now Truly's got the cheesecloth. He's the Italian guy, and he's running for the bunkhouse. And he's got it. And they're shouting, "It's on fire! It's on fire!" They're shouting in English and French. In every language but Italian. And the bunkhouse with all its straw and dirty laundry goes up like it's 1999. Everything these immigrants own is inside, so they ran back in. They had to. My great-granddad Duchamp worked for 3 years chipping ballast in the deep woods where there was no Royal Bank ATM. For 3 years sending half his money home and stuffing half of it in an old boot under the hay. And he just stood there and he watched the fucker burn. He had 10,000 stories, and that's the only one he ever told me with regret. And when my little Andy was born, he took the kid in his arms, and he looked at me and he said, "The boot, Georgie, the boot. It doesn't matter." They took 9 guys to the field hospital the next day. One guy they found on the top bunk made out of ash, reaching for the little window in the gable.